Every founder complains about finding good software engineers, and here is the truth. Talent is scarce and expensive. We have so many clients who come to us at our software development studio who have tried hiring either in-house, they tried doing the engineering themselves, or they had a partner, CTO, even someone they knew previously, they were trying to work with, and it just didn't work out well. Now, the reality, as I say, is talent is scarce, talent is expensive, and it's really hard to find great people. That's true in any area or any walk of life, but especially things that are very, very complicated, like software engineering. There's a reason that companies like OpenAI and Meta are competing for the very best people. Meta's not making billion-dollar annual packages for people who are just average AI engineers, for example. They recognize that the very, very best are worth every single penny. And so they're going to OpenAI and Google and all these other companies, and they're stealing their very best people, stealing them away and paying them hundreds of millions of dollars to do so. Because the reality is it's actually kind of worth it, but not for a very beginning startup. And so how do you find genuinely good software engineering or software development talent without blowing the bank, right? That's the big money question, quite literally. Now, the reality is most projects don't need or require a full-time software engineer, at least certainly not at the beginning, or at least after you've done your MVP. So, if you're not a software engineer, if you don't have a background in software engineering, even if you have worked with software engineers in the past, it's really, really challenging to find people who are genuinely good at what they do. And the issue with software engineering is if you work with someone who's not great, what's going to happen almost inevitably is as soon as your software starts getting a little bit complex, you start playing whack-a-mole, trying to find what the issue is in the code. Because if you have tens of thousands of lines of code and there's one line that's causing an issue, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And unfortunately, this is something that we see and experience over and over and over again with people who are coming to us and they say, hey, I've worked with this. I had a tech partner, he just chose to leave, but I had to fire him or I had to let him go or her because, we're 6 months in. And very real example, one of our clients, unfortunately, they were 6 months in, we've barely even written a line of code. 6 months in. Or for example, another person I spoke to last year, he spent $160,000 on a software development company for software that was just crap. It really was. And he was trusting in them because they told him it would be good. And he was actually recommended to somebody, which is who he was working with, and they really weren't good. And so finding great talent is really, really hard. And you have to almost, it's like a little bit of a leap of faith. You have to find the people who you trust. And then you probably want to make smaller, little incremental bets. Do something small and you build up over time, which is very much the startup ethos anyway, to figure out, are these people going to be really great? Now, on the point of someone probably doesn't need full-time engineering talent in your team, at least at the beginning, the reality is you're probably going to build your MVP and then you need to go get users for the MVP. So what you need to be doing is you have something built, and ideally on day one or pretty fast, you've got people in using the platform, beta testing it and going, this is great. I wish it could do this. This doesn't seem to be working. Oh, I guess it is technically working, but I want it to go do something else, or I was expecting it to do something else. And that's all the kind of really useful data you're going to get really, really fast. But the reality is after you've built out that initial version, you probably don't need someone full-time. Because a great engineer full-time is be $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And that's not a world-class engineer. That's like a good, solid engineer, the type of person you probably want to be working with. And so for a startup, if you've not already raised capital or anything else like this, that might put a bit of pressure on your financials. It's going to impact your runway, which is how much time you have based on how much money you have remaining, and then you're divided or take away from your monthly outgoings. And the good thing is a lot of agencies or hybrids can bridge that gap. Now, for example, with our studio, what we do is we work very closely with founders. We help them ideate and come up with the idea. Usually they already have an idea, but we help refine it. We design it, and we'll build out the initial MVP, usually in between 3 and 6 weeks, unless it's something very big or very complex, might take a few weeks more. And then we say, all right, cool. Now, like launch plan, what is it? How many users are we getting? What's the feedback you're getting? Do we have the right analytics in place so we can see what users are doing, so we can be coming back with the right insights to go and then influence our future product development roadmap? And that is where all of our thinking goes as soon as we get the MVP done and out the door. And so that's exactly the type of thing that you need to succeed. Now, we partner with founders every day to solve this exact problem. If you find yourself in this position, you're looking to get started, you've already started, but unfortunately you're having the issues I mentioned with your tech partner, let us know. All the links you need are in the description below, and happy to explore how we can help.